Hi, everybody. I am Dr. Tracy Hardell, and I am your instructor for the Healthcare Research course. Happy Thanksgiving! I think it's really strange to start a course on Thanksgiving, but we do what they tell us, right? So happy Thanksgiving. I usually come to you from a slightly more professional setting, but right now I have a house full of company, and this corner of my theater room was the only spot that I could find that is quiet. So thus the background. So, welcome. Some of you might not have oh, a very pleasant understanding or outlook towards healthcare research, but it really is kind of fun. And we'll be digging into it, and this course gives you a lot of opportunity to really fine tune your analysis course about how to analyze healthcare research articles. And I think you'll actually like it a little bit, hopefully. Okay, so a few things. This week we've got two discussion questions. You're talking about in the first one, the difference between pure research utilization, and evidence-based practice. And they have overlapping features, but they are three distinctly different things. So you're going to be providing those definitions and how they're the same and how they're different. And then you're going to be talking about two ways that quantitative and qualitative research are different, and talking about is one better than the other. So we're going to get into some discussions about that. I have some opinions about that, and you'll be hearing about them the first week in the main forum. So those are our discussion questions. And then you're going to be writing a paper about an evidence-based practice article. Now, the directions say you need to find an article about evidence-based practice, process, or implementation. I don't want you to write about a theoretical article about evidence-based practice, like why should we have evidence-based practice? It needs to be an article about some clinical setting that actually implemented an evidence-based practice and what happened. Okay, so it needs to be an article about something that actually took place, where a facility actually used evidence-based practice. Okay, so nothing theoretical. I wanted this to be a very practical article that you're going to be describing and turning in. All right. And then I do abide by the word limits. In academic writing, our goal is not to be hugely descriptive, flowery, flowy. Academic writing is being clear and concise. That's what we find in our academic journals when we read the articles. They're not beautifully written stories. They're clear and concise. And so I do really stick with that word limit. As you're reading through your paper and you find they've gone over the word limit, look through the writing and see, are there any words that I can cut out? If I cut out a particular sentence, does it really change the meaning of the paper? So I want you to look through things like that. Also, since we're doing academic writing, I do need you to abide by GCU's APA guidelines, and I attach those in my announcements. And a lot of my students just print them out and have them right by them when they're writing papers so they can refer to them really quickly. If you have questions about APA, if you have questions about writing papers, please let me know, and I'll try to refer you to some further resources, okay? All right, and then a couple things about the next week. Week 2, we do have, I think, our CLC agreement, our cooperative learning group agreement, but I'm not assigning groups right now because in the past 3 days, the number of people in this class has changed every day. So I'm going to wait until closer to the end of the week when I'm sure that we've got a stable class roster and I know who's really going to be in the course, and then I'll divide you up. And if there's anybody you want to be or maybe don't want to be in a group with, just send me a note in the individual forum and I'll take care of that. I try to do things to keep you in similar time zones, but it doesn't always work that way. So I do my best, but I apologize if you end up in a group with widely different time zones. Okay, and then also in week 2, you're going to be selecting a quantitative research article and a qualitative research article that you're going to be using throughout the course, and you're going to analyze different parts of it all throughout this research course, okay? So a couple things about choosing those articles. They have to be just a quantitative or just a qualitative article. Don't pick an article that talks about mixed methods research. That's where you have both a quantitative and a qualitative piece to the research. Don't pick one that says that. It just doesn't work with the assignment very well. The other thing is systematic review is like the highest level of research, where you pull together all different experiments and see if you can come up with a conclusion, a consensus. Don't pull one of those articles. Again, it doesn't work very well with the assignment. So just look for one article that is purely quantitative, one that is purely qualitative, and hopefully make them on topics that you like, because you're going to be analyzing them throughout the whole course. So I would suggest, if you, as you read through it, pick one that's not too terribly hard to understand, because again, you'll be picking it apart throughout the course. And I think that's about it. So usually these videos are between 5, 7, and 8 minutes, that kind of thing. I try to talk maybe a little bit about the topic for the week, and then I go into a little bit of nitty-gritty about the assignments, because I want you all to be successful. All right, I think that's about it. I'll see you in the main forum.